Alright, here we are for round one. I actually also remembered the webcam, which apparently was disabled for the deck tech. I apologize for that. I know you all wanted to, check me out while I was chatting about Raid's deck, see how excited I looked. Um, anyway, this actually took quite a while from actually recording the deck tech because I had to go trade for those jungle hollows in the trading system of Magic Online. It's not the easiest thing I've ever used in my life. It took me forever to actually just set tickets tradable, so I'm not going to complain anymore about Magic Online unless something horrible goes wrong in this particular video, but we'll see. Anyway, we won the die roll. We're going to go ahead and play first. And this hand is pretty great. We have Elvish Mystic along with a bunch of action. We're going to go certainly keep this. We can play Elvish Mystic turn 1 off of Llanowar Wastes and then follow it up with something like Satyr Wayfinder or Commune. My inclination would be to follow it up most likely with Satyr Wayfinder because this hand is looking for additional mana sources and actually has action to play on curve, so that would be my default. Alright, so Temple of Triumph. Temple of Triumph, the deck that right now that leads me to believe that my opponent is most likely to be playing would be Jeskai tokens. What I've found is that, or at least what it seems to me is that that's the more popular of the various Jeskai decks at the moment. So I'm going to play Satyr Wayfinder first because I want to mill myself before I play my Temple, so I get the maximum use out of the Scry, aka any use out of the Scry. So we're going to go ahead. We want to take an untapped land so we're able to cast Eidolon of Blossoms. And right now we have double black, so I'm kind of tempted to just take Windswept Heath so we get it gets us an extra card in our graveyard. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Windswept Heath, put these in the yard, and then play Temple of Malady. And we're going to put this in the bottom. We don't need another Wayfinder, I don't think. We could take the Wayfinder, which would potentially enable Eidolon, or rather Pharika, but my inclination is that we're not going to be looking for that sort of effect. It's actually possible that we would want it if our opponent does kill our creature. Our opponent did not play a land. He didn't. Oh, did he mulligan? I don't even know what just happened. Well, alright. I didn't even notice. Wasn't even paying attention to he was mulliganing because I was talking about trading. So we're going to go ahead and just play Eidolon of Blossoms. Draw ourselves a card. And then we can just get Pharika online like right away, right? No creatures in my yard right now, so maybe we would have wanted a Wayfinder eventually. But we do have a Commune anyway to enable that, so not really all that important. So I'm going to go ahead and attack with a Wayfinder, clearly. Bam! Getcha! How do you like that? Satyr beatdowns. Alright, so he's certainly a Jeskai, and certainly has nothing. I kind of just want to cast Pharika before I do anything else, to draw a card and then play my Commune. Maybe I don't even want a Commune. Maybe I just want to play. I could also just play Whip. Should also draw me a card and potentially gain me life. That may be the stronger play. Let me go ahead and cast Whip. I could have like Disdainful Stroke here. I could like kill my guy in response, but killing my guy in response is much less effective. Yep. So that's gonna be dead, but we're gonna have a whip in play. I'm gonna play a Jungle Hollow, gain a life. But now we have a whip in play, and if our opponent is playing a Jeskai aggressive style of deck, whip is very powerful. both because the life gain is really good to offset. Excuse me, hiccup. To offset opposing burn, and because the ability to bring back creatures also happens to be very great. All right, there's a Rabble Master. So, taking a beatdown, must attack. All right, so now we're in the market for a Doomwake Giant. Thoughtseize. All right, I think I want to open with Thoughtseize because we want to we want to see what our opponent is working with. Also gives us information about how we want to play the rest of our turn. Alright, so yeah, Chandra, Treasure Cruise, Raise the Alarm, and Land. Did I want to just not play a land turn 2? Just like misclick or something? I'm very confused because he's played a land every turn since then. Must have just misclicked, I guess. Chandra actually seems like the most troublesome card here. I have two one toughness creatures in play. Neither Treasure Cruises, he's pretty far off from being able to actually cast. And Raise the Alarm isn't really generating significant threats, particularly given my hand. So I'm gonna take Chandra. Then I am inclined to cast the Commune, because I'm looking for I want to actually be able to deal with this Rabble Master somehow. So we're gonna cast Commune. Let's do it with a bad land. By that I mean a not optimal land. It's not actually the card bad land. Alright, so we'll cast Commune. And Doomwake Giant is an excellent find. Doomwake Giant lets us deal with his stuff, and we also puts a Hornet Queen in the yard. So I'm gonna take Doomwake, put all this in the yard, and then I'm gonna go ahead and cast. If I cast Pharika. I think I don't want to cast Pharika. I think I actually want to cast Sylvan Caryatid here. If I cast Sylvan Caryatid, I can potentially double block his Rabble Master next turn, and that is the last of his real threats. Like the rest of his hand is Treasure Cruise plus Raise the Alarm, and then I have enough mana that I can effectively just play Doomwake and then start whipping things. I could play Pharika, but then he gets to hit me for a lot of damage, and I would rather play this and force him to do something to get by my two creatures that can potentially block Rabble Master if he's going to attack. Also, my whip is super powerful right now. There's Hornet Queen in my yard, and multiple enchantment creatures I can potentially whip back with the Doomwake in play. Also, I just have Pharika too, so Doomwake plus Pharika makes it so that even Rabble Master ultimately won't be able to actually do really any damage to me. Imagine this game would probably be a lot harder if my opponent had played a land on turn 2. Alright, so we're just going to block one of them. We want to keep these guys alive because they can attack, and these guys are just going to die to Doomwake Giant. So there's not really a big reason to try and kill them. Hordling Outburst. Doesn't he know? Didn't he see that I took a Doomwake Giant? That is a questionable play, to say the least. So we're just going to play Doomwake Giant. And then we're going to play Pharika. And my opponent will have no cards. that do really anything. I guess he could cast this Treasure Cruise in a turn. But this is really the reason that I think this particular deck is powerful in this matchup. Is Doomwake Giant is just so potent against small creatures, particularly, obviously 1 toughness creatures, but all the token stuff in those decks. So here, sideboard wise, it's a little weird how you want to sideboard against this deck, I think, because they do have like some reasonable early threats, like Rabblemaster and Seeker of the Way, that you actually kind of do want to have removal against, but ultimately they don't have really that many creatures that you want to actually kill. Bileblight is pretty good. Bileblight, if I were actually to play, Drownosaur is also very good. So Bileblight and Drown are your 2 sort of go-to cheap removal spells that can kill a bunch of tokens at once. I wonder if Arbor Colossus is any good. My inclination is that it probably is not, but I'm open to the possibility that I could be wrong. Hero's Downfall seems pretty bad. Murderous Cut is, I think, good because of the efficiency that you can actually gain with it. Thoughtseize is a weird card because it's good to break up their Jeskai Ascendancy or whatever else, but were there no Reclamation Sages in this deck? For some reason, I thought there were Reclamation Sages. So just in the sideboard. How do I not have Reclamation Sages? I'm actually looking. I only have a I'm not sure. I thought there were Reclamation Sages in the sideboard. I don't know where they went. I'm confused. Where could the Reclamation Sages have gone? I don't know. Anyway, I literally just imported the deck from the world's lists, so I can't imagine how I possibly could have had some of the cards wrong. 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. What is? I'm literally looking at the list now. I don't understand what could have gone wrong. There are literally Reclamation Sages on this list that I'm looking at, and yet they weren't imported into the list that I'm playing, apparently. And I don't know what was. This is very strange. Very, very, very strange. I'm totally lost somehow. I don't really know what's going on. There were Read the Bones too. Anyway, I'm just gonna figure this out. Gotta cut. Oh, is there just a 13 card sideboard? There's just a 13 card sideboard. How am I playing in a tournament with a 13 card sideboard? Is that even legal? Oh, well, that's interesting. Anyway, I guess I can't put Reclamation Sage even if I want it. Oh god, I gotta do something quickly. We're doing that. That probably wasn't right, but I literally only just noticed that I somehow had a 13 card sideboard. There's supposed to be 2 Reclamation Sages, and I didn't even know it was legal to do that. Well, I said I wasn't going to complain about Magic Online, but I literally imported a deck, and it apparently just had a 13 card sideboard, and I didn't recognize it until I started playing. I guess that's legal now. I guess you're allowed to have those, but all right. So this is an interesting hand. We're on the draw. We have a lot of very good things, like 7-Carotid, Wayfinder that can actually help us ramp, Communes that can dig. If we do draw a land immediately, this hand is actually quite good. The deck has a pretty reasonable amount of land in it. There's 22 land, which isn't a ton. But there's also the Wayfinders and such that can ramp you. I think I'm probably gonna mulligan this. If I don't draw a land immediately, this is the sort of deck that can run you over, and this hand, it needs setup anyway. If I don't draw a land, like an untapped land right away to play Caryatid, then Wayfinder, I could be in some pretty significant trouble. And then I still have to go through all the loops of communing to actually dig for things that can impact the board, like Doomwake Giant. So I'm still kind of not able to get over the fact that it just didn't import 2 of the cards into the list. I don't even know. I mean, I wouldn't board them in here, I don't think. I don't think you actually want to board in Reclamation Sage just to fight Jeskai Ascendancy, but it's still very weird. Alright, we're going to mulligan this. This hand's okay. We're going to go ahead and keep. Bile Blight is a a reasonable tool to deal with tokens. Having a Thought Seize allows me to potentially keep my opponent off of Rabble Master at least, because I can play turn 1 tap land, turn 2 Thought Seize you. I actually think I want to play I think I want to play Jungle Hollow first. I'm not really trying to set up any particular anything in particular scry wise yet, and Jungle Hollow, it comes to play tap. I'm gonna have to play it at some point. I would rather get a scry when I have more information about how my hand's shaping up and how my opponent's hand is shaping up. All right, there's a Seeker of the Way. So I'm gonna Thought Seize him now. So now here I'm getting, potentially getting that information. So he has a second Seeker of the Way, which makes my Bile Blight potentially very good. I'm kind of tempted to just take Raise the Alarm, because that means that his only other possible play the next turn is Seeker of the Way, unless he draws an untapped red source. So, or I guess just an untapped land, because then he could play Hordeling Outburst. I think I'm going to take Raise the Alarm. It also, it also makes his Stoke better. I'm going to take Raise the Alarm here. And hope that he walks into Bile Blight with a second Seeker of the Way. And play another Jungle Hollow. I do have information now, but I have plays for the next couple of turns, so I want to see what I draw, and then I'll have more information about what I'm going to do at that point. So yeah, I don't think he's just going to not do anything this turn. Yeah, there's a second Seeker of the Way. So I'm getting a ton of value from this Bile Blight by killing 2 Seekers. Doot. Or I will when it finally happens. Doot, doot. So now he has Stoke and Hordeling Outburst. Did draw Murderous Cut, which is not very good against the stuff he has. I'm going to send this to the bottom. My next turn is going to be able to be Commune plus Sylvan Caryatid, which puts me in a pretty decent spot. Commune finding Doomwick Giant would be, pretty powerful. And obviously Caryatid accelerating my mana is always powerful. Alright, there's the Outburst. So we're going to go ahead and Commune before anything. Looking for Doomwake. We found it. Alright, and I'm going to play Llanowar Waste into Sylvan Caryatid. I will block one. So I'm hoping he doesn't have a Disdainful Stroke, because that's really the most powerful thing he could have here. It's a very good cyber card against this deck. He didn't have one 2 turns ago or whatever when I Thought Seized him, but there's a reasonable chance he might have drawn one. Alright, we killed the goblins. They're dead. Now we get to play another Temple of Malady. Now we're just looking for things like Eidolon or Whip. Certainly not Windswept Heath. Like Eidolon, Whip, Commune, Hornet Queen. Things that sort of work toward the long game plan. Maybe our Murderous Cut shouldn't be in the deck. Maybe it should be Hero's Downfall. I'm not sure. Hero's Downfall can deal with Chandra, which is like a real card out of the Jeskai Ascendancy deck. Could also just be Arbor Colossus, but that seems a little aggressive. All right, well, another Caryatid. So we're certainly not lacking for mana. That will not be our downfall this game. And we actually need to find something reasonably quickly in order to actually close out the game, because we are playing against a deck that does have treasure cruise in it. So playing an attrition game can be a little bit dangerous. There's also just the threat of getting burned out. We know that our opponent has Stoke the Flames in hand. All right, that's actually a very good draw. Well, not very good, but a pretty good draw. We have one creature in our yard. It also represents additional triggers for Doomwick Giant. Right now, I'm only gonna have 5 devotion, but any additional creature will be able to trigger it, except for I guess like an elf or Caryatid. My opponent could like double lightning strike this to get rid of it. Just Sky Charm it or something to the top of my deck. There's a lightning strike. Alright, he is going to double lightning strike it. Alright, Doomwick down. It's a lot of burn on my opponent's part that he no longer has access to. I'm just going to go ahead and play Pharika. I don't think I'm going to use it, but I want to have access to it, have it in play. If I do draw something like an Eidolon of Blossoms, it could potentially be Eidolon into something which turns Pharika on, and I can start attacking. Also, could be Eidolon into, just the ability to activate Pharika and get Constellation triggers and draw a bunch of cards. So I'm actually not in a great spot here. I have Pharika may just not be a card that shouldn't be in the deck actually in this matchup, because it's just relatively low impact, and there is a Chandra. So yeah, if this were Hero's Downfall, it would be a lot stronger here. Can't really make things with Pharika to attack Chandra. So yeah, Pharika seems really bad. I was thinking that Pharika was probably a card that I was going to want to take out when I got really confused about the fact that there just weren't Reclamation Sages in my deck. Alright, show me an Eidolon. Not a forest. Even like a whip would have been great there. Well, not great necessarily, but it would have done something. I could whip back a Wayfinder, which would give me more fuel. I don't really want to be like making guys when I only have a couple of guys in my yard. Alright, so we know that the opponent has Stoke in hand, and now this. I mean, like, the ultimate on Chandra is actually pretty scary. The 0 is also pretty scary. But yeah, here we're just sitting here on a ton of mana and nothing to do with it. It's one of the risks of playing a deck like this. It's always a risk of playing any deck that has a bunch of acceleration and large threats. You just, sometimes you draw a bunch of acceleration and the threats don't come. I did have, alright, exile into another Chandra. Alright, the perfect card. The perfect card. I want to draw Eidolon. I think Eidolon is actually my best draw here because I know that my opponent has like burn in hand. And Eidolon will at least give me a couple of extra card draws off of Pharika potentially. Yeah, well, there's Eidolon. I hope he doesn't have a disdainful stroke, because then I get nothing. May respond to the trigger or something and kill it, in which case I'm going to Pharika my guys to dig. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. We should have started with. I'm gonna get rid of both of them, but I should have started with Wayfinder in case I drew like Whip or something. Alright. So this actually draws me 3 cards, which is I think I still want to. Do I want to draw a card or play Courser? I think I want to draw a card. I think drawing a card here is more valuable than playing Courser right now, because this game is becoming very attrition oriented, and I don't have all that many tools to get more resources. Courser can wait until next turn. Okay, well there's some things that do things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 mana. And also now I have these snakes, and my opponent can +1 Chandra and kill the snakes, but they represent real threats. So to at least Chandra just zeroing. Alright, so that's 3 lightning strikes. My opponent still has the Stoke the Flames in hand that we know about. Alright, well that was a pretty good turn for me, getting to draw 3 cards. So now if my opponent just draws a Treasure Cruise, he can do the same thing with this stocked graveyard without having to do crazy combos with Pharika. Turns out Treasure Cruise is a fairly powerful card. Alright, raise the alarm. Not really scared of raise the alarm here. Thankfully, Pharika is a god and not a planeswalker, so not vulnerable to getting attacked. Alright, snake down. I think I would trade off if it was offered. Ooh. So I could play Hornet Queen here, which is good but not incredible, because my opponent does have the Chandra, which can pick off my guys. I can also play what I have. What is it, 7? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I can actually play Courser plus Wayfinder plus Whip, which seems stronger because that also enables Pharika. Although I am and Whip, like I'm at 14 life, and I know that my opponent has Stoke, so this seems like it's probably safer. It also means that I can potentially whip back stuff. Like if I whip back Eidolon after dumping stuff in my yard, it can be. And then I can activate Pharika. It can be very powerful. I think this is best. Let's go ahead. We'll start with Courser, because that can get me a free land. It did not. So Satyr. He can kill Courser in response if he wants. This also threatens to turn on Pharika. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, either of these turns on Pharika. He's killing Courser in response, it looks like. Yep. Which I'm fine with. Also means that the coast is clear for whip. He can't possibly have... Oh, well, these all go to the yard. And I'll play whip. So he didn't have Disdainful Stroke either. And now I'm going to go ahead and attack Farika. Or rather, attack Chandra. With Farika and a snake. Which means he has to block or lose Chandra. Probably just chump blocking Farika, but it also means I gain 6 life, which puts me back to 20, which is very valuable against a deck that has a lot of burn elements. Right, he's just trading off both. And I feel like I'm in a great spot now. I have Whip of Erebos in play, I have Farika in play, and yeah, I'm at 20, and my opponent has 1 card. He does have Chandra, but that only does so much. Like I can whip whip Eidolon into play, and then start using Farika to draw cards by removing stuff from my yard. All right. Well, here comes a. I thought it entered the exiled zone. What did it say? Entered the revealed zone? I'm confused. Oh, he used Chandra. Okay, he plussed Chandra. Didn't he? I don't know. Yeah, okay, he zeroed Chandra, rather, to reveal the Flooded Strand. I thought it said enters the exiled zone because he was actually casting the thing. So, I can cast Hornet Queen here, which is very powerful. I can also activate Farika, returning Eidolon, or rather activate Whip, returning Eidolon, and then make a bunch of tokens and draw a bunch of cards, which I think actually seems stronger ultimately. Because if I play Hornet Queen, my opponent does have Disdainful Stroke, even though he probably didn't have it last turn. I've used my entire turn to do nothing. This way, oops, I got green mana, not black mana. So, whip back Eidolon of Blossoms. Draw a card. Another Farika. Well, I can't have 2 Farikas, unfortunately. Now I will attack Chandra. Attack Chandra. I'm going to attack Chandra with everything, because I want Chandra to die. If he has a removal spell and shoots at one of these, I would rather I not have to deal with that. Deal with it possibly living a turn. It's one of the ways that, you know, he can... Oh, well, there's Raise the Alarm. I knew he had that. I could just Murderous Cut this. I have an odd number of mana, so maybe I do just Murderous Cut one of these. Though, he's going to block like here and here, so that doesn't really do anything. So I'm going to hold on to my Murderous Cut. No, I didn't know that he had the Raise the Alarm. He already cast Raise the Alarm before. So, alright, anyway. This is fine. I suppose I don't have another Bioblight mix, so there's no reason to draw and hopefully kill one instantly with Bioblight. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and... oh, he's letting it take 3. Sure. Keeping his other guy. That's fine. So, okay. That happens. I gain a bunch of life. Then I'm going to make some snakes with Farika. Oh god, so many hornets. So many Hornet Queens. We're just going to do it 3 times. No, we want to be able to maybe whip one of these back. No, I want another card. Courser. Alright, now I have a Doomwig Giant as well, which makes life so much better. 27 with the Doomwig Giant, Farika, and this board. Kind of happy with how things are going. Yeah, my opponent just concedes. So, my opponent didn't ever draw Jeskai Ascendancy, as far as I could tell. And game 1 is a little awkward because it looked like my opponent just literally didn't play land one turn. But overall, it felt like the cards in this deck matched up pretty well against the cards in that deck. Doomwig Giant is extremely powerful. Bile-Blight was quite good. Killing 2 Seeker of the Waves, not even just taking out tokens. So I'm going to go try and figure out what happened with the whole Reclamation Sage thing. And we're going to keep playing. So see you in a round, I suppose.